Hello, everyone. It is your Sunday night, November the 2nd, 2025, and fall is in the air. The spooky season is behind us, and we are now focused on all things Thanksgiving and fall and harvest and all that good stuff, which we've kind of already been doing, but now we get a whole month for that. So, and I still have not decorated for Thanksgiving. I'm really falling behind here. But you have everything up that you're going to put up?
Well, it's not yes. It's the other word. It's the opposite. No, nothing.
Well, I was going to say the walls behind you there. Your sofa's nice. And
it is. And listen, the only thing stopping me from going back to playing my piano is this podcast. And I'm right back, and then, that's because everybody knows everybody knows how real this is. Real.
Yes. It's, I wish I was there too. It looks like a great place. I'm not going to lie.
Yes.
So there we go. Okay. Oh, see, there we go. Now I'm in.
I love that.
Yeah. I just put this together in the last couple seconds while I was thinking about it. Like a good neighbor, Start Farm is there.
So should I explain to them these houses? So listen, because we're always going to tell you the truth unless we're lying, right? So like we switch off. Today I'm at the main house, and Mike is at the city doing some work. So he's at our studio, our big apartment / office in central Manhattan. So it's amazing.
I'm just grateful for the miles that I have on the car.
That's right. Yes.
We will travel
for miles.
Yes, absolutely. But it's not cheap to live here in the city.
No.
$8,500 a month now for a studio.
That's right.
It's really nice though. I've got a great view. 2 couches, no bath, no bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Got a sink.
Yeah. So this is my neighbor's house, right? They're not home, and we at the back door. Nobody knows. Shh.
Well, hopefully they're not watching, but a few of you are online, and thank you for being here on your Sunday night. And so much happened yesterday and today, and so we're going to talk about it. But before we do, our good old pal Christopher Bennett and the Nashville Tax Solutions crew are, they are prepping for what's to come, 2026. I'm sure they've got so much on their plate year round. You think tax season, we're outside of that right now, but no, they're preparing, getting everybody ready for the tax season. So go ahead and share a little bit about our partners who's been with us for over a year and a half now. So got to give them a shout out. This and our new subscriber count, by the way, I'm going to pull this one up for you.
Love this.
Is 3,363. So we have gone up another 20 or so since we last had a podcast. So, but take it away with Nashville Tax Solutions.
That is outstanding. But hey, if you're dealing with tax issues, maybe you're behind on filings, you got hit with a lien. Let me tell you about Nashville Tax Solutions. These folks know their stuff, and they actually care about helping you fix it. I've heard from people in Palm Bay, Fort Pierce, and all over who said Chris Bennett and his team turned a financial nightmare into peace of mind. That's the kind of help that you want to have on your side. So if tax stress is keeping you up, especially during the holiday season, you don't want that, right? Call 855-627-4829. Visit NashvilleTaxSolutions.com or email info@NashvilleTaxSolutions.com. Nashville Tax Solutions, real people, real results. And now listen real quick also, for those of you, I'm in the nonprofit world, you're thinking about what money to give and not give and this and that. Those all have tax implications. You need to call somebody like Chris Bennett and his team. Nashville Tax Solutions will help you make those final deductions for the year right now.
Yes, and If you don't have a phone or internet or access to email, you can meet Christopher Bennett and his team at the Family Christmas Extravaganza on Saturday, December the 20th. You can meet him in person. If you're old school, go ahead and do that. They will have everything that you need right then and there. With that said, guys, we are going to tonight. We're going to, of course, recap the World Series was last night. Well, Game 7 into November. It was kind of funny because you're seeing a lot of the shirts that talks about rising in October, but we're playing in November.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And then some NFL action today, some upsets, some maybe not upsets, but there's also some games that really were down to the wire that maybe shouldn't have been. So much to talk about, but I want to give you guys a heads up. We've got exciting news in terms of what's to come on this podcast. We're about to hit episode 120 on Thursday evening, and we are going to have Locked On Pirates from the Pittsburgh Pirates podcast network. So that's going to be a lot of fun. If you remember from way back when we had Locked On Rockies back in the day, they were our very first ever guest. Excited to have Locked On Pirates this Thursday. You can talk Paul Skeens and Pirates baseball. And then next Sunday, a week from tonight, those of you that are fans of Friends, it's been about 6 months now, but we had our friends over at Hooked on Friends on the podcast. So now we're going to have her back on, but we're going to focus on Phoebe and every single one of her relationships from episode 1 all the way to the end. There's a whole slew of them. We're going to squeeze them all in. So definitely drop your favorites in the comments ahead of time, and we'll talk about all of them. But it is what it is. So, Darren, what do you want to talk about first? Any NFL action today? World Series?
Yeah, listen, first of all, Bergerman is with us, so of course, it's going to be a great show.
Of course.
We have to talk.
31. Wait.
Yes, 31,
Yeah.
right. We have to talk World Series. We have to. So I'm looking forward to it tonight. I know yesterday was his day off. So, like, tonight, I'm looking forward to Game 7. Did they actually play already?
Yeah, Game 8. Yes, they're going to go.
Right, good. I'm sorry. No, it was amazing. It started like a Columbo episode. I'll start at the end and go back real quick just to kind of prompt the conversation. I absolutely loved what the announcer said last night. He didn't just say, well, the Dodgers win. He said something along the lines of, you have to knock out the champ to win. And just they were not able to do it. They were not able to do it. They found a way. What a game. Now, I called Toronto in 7, but, Dodgers, what a series.
It was incredible. And what do you call it? I have to send this here. I didn't watch the all 7 games or whatever. I watched here and there, whatever. I did watch everything last night. And it did feel, I was prepping myself for 14, 15 innings again. Like I felt like it was coming. But it was amazing. And I got home just in time for the 9th inning. And I had a good friend of mine, Kevin, who's a friend of our podcast who watches regularly. And we basically kind of were on the phone and what do you call it? And we basically dissected each pitch. And his feed, of course, was like 3 seconds before mine. So he kind of had to not get
That's
away.
Always weird.
Before. It's always
a weird
that happened back with the Yankees Diamondbacks World Series. I was talking to another friend way back when I think it was Luis Gonzalez got the walk-off hit when they won that series, and he's celebrating on the line. I'm like, what? Nothing happened, So that's always a struggle. But so much to unpack and digest from that game. I don't even know where. So I guess I would have to start with the defensive substitution in that inning. Basically, from my perspective, this is, of course, I'm referring to Blue Jays had bases loaded, 2 outs, but a 1 base hit would have won the game. It looks like Kiki Hernandez got burnt in the outfield, and then out of nowhere comes defensive substitution. And Pagus, I forget how he pronounced that. But
let's not pay. It says Pages. It says Pages on his back.
Pagas, yes.
But it's Pagas. Okay, who am I to judge? Just saying.
And so it looked like he just shoved Kiki Hernandez, like, get out of the way, and just caught the ball. Like, it really just felt like he swiped them away from him. But what was your reaction to that catch? That was like a get off your chair, go, oh, kind of.
Well, that's exactly what it was. I mean, there was so much to unpack that inning, but that, when we're talking about specifically that play, I thought it was over because Kiki took a bad turn on that bad read. He was going to have to make an over the shoulder catch. If he was able to do it, I didn't think he would be able to. And Bogosky, he came out of nowhere. And I love the fact that he was a defensive replacement. And, it wasn't analytics. We'll talk about that later. Dave Roberts spit in the face of analytics that game, and I love it. He put in guys to hit who were hitting 174. Kiki his home run just because he felt like he was due. He had that happen over and over again. And, the outfielder goes, I just had a feeling, and he's a savvy baseball person. I get angry at him sometimes when he follows the analytics too much. Like, he'll take out a guy who's having a no-hitter because, he threw too many pitches. But then you look at a guy like Yamamoto, right? 95 pitches the night before. Then he pitches another 2 1/3. Shutdown. So you can take analytics and you can pretend that's good math. Statistics are the biggest BS thing in the world. You can manipulate them any way you want. You really can. QBR, wins above replacement, horrible stats. When you need to kind of be subjective with the stat to begin with, it's a stat. It's not math. They say it's math. It's not. It's just nonsense. Sorry.
He basically made all the right calls yesterday.
Like a manager.
I mean, we talk about how when I think the Blue Jays manager used the words, the best 2 words in sports is Game 7. To see all 4 starting pitchers, when I say 4, I mean besides Kershaw, but he wasn't a starter for the World Series. To see all 4 we see all 4 being used for multiple innings. And then they even said Yamamoto was probably not available, and then he still came in and pitched 3 innings anyway. So well deserving of the MVP for the World Series, of course. I don't think there was any doubt there. Some people thought Miguel Rojas or Will Smith, but that was one moment. But what he was able to do and shut down that, no doubt, it went to him. And there were some funny, a lot of reels today online where it was the Dodgers front office panicking. They're like, we're losing Kershaw, and we only have 5 starting pitchers, so we need to get somebody. So go ahead and call our friends up in Pittsburgh. We need Paul Skeens, So they're already,
But now here's the thing. A lot of people, and I get it. Like, I was talking to my mother-in-law, and we'll talk about that in a while too, about how so many people embrace baseball. The chess, the war that I wrote about this morning. War without death, in terms of strategies. I mean, she loved it. She was upset that the Dodgers won. Couldn't sleep. But it was amazing. And it's just you make these decisions, and it was wonderful.
Of course you feel for the city of Toronto because they wanted it so much. And I mean, to be able to, if you really think about it, like games 4 through 7, like when does that happen where all 4 road teams win? Like, I don't think that happens that often, but that's exactly what happened from games 4.
Well, that's something. Look, Toronto played. Don't get me wrong. Toronto played well, but you lost the last 2 at home, and you had bases loaded, 1 out. You couldn't score. All you needed was a sac fly, and that doesn't mean they did anything wrong, but they had nobody to blame.
Yeah. Nobody to blame. And were you surprised that I wasn't based on because he was up, but like I was surprised how efficient Max Scherzer was. We were making the joke, like I thought he was going to snap when they tried to take him out of the game because he has a tendency to not be happy with that.
Oh yeah.
But he pitched very, very well. And as I thought would happen, it would be a long ball here and a long ball there. That would be the difference, and that's exactly what happened. So
listen. It shows why these guys are these people are great. And he and Kershaw and people like that, they know they might never be here again. Like they'll be done, retired, out. You want to go out on top, the sort of competitiveness of these guys. And this is the one thing I wanted to say, and I know it's not a very popular opinion. And I'd love to see what our guests think, other people who are watching us. You could talk, and I was telling my mother-in-law about this. And she was saying, they buy the way to a title and this and that. That is true to a point. But who hit the big home run in the top of ninth inning for the Dodgers? Not a multi-million-dollar person, a backbencher. This is what they do. Who was Dave Roberts? Dave Roberts made the steal of a lifetime as a Red Sox to help them win their World Series. It's the back end guys. It's the people that are not Ohtani, who made the difference on both teams.
Yeah,
on both teams. And then, I'm sorry to keep talking, but I'm really passionate about this. You and I, we're so privileged in what we do on this show. That's right, Soup. We're so privileged that we get to see and talk to major league players. And the hubris, and I get it as a fan. Well, if he wasn't off at third base enough, if he would have just went in head first, and you see all of these pros saying, no, you're wrong. He was where he needed to be, or this or that, or I know this person. And just they're threatening the man's life. They threatened his life. Some angry people. And that's where the gambling comes in. Don't even get me started on that. But I forget who it was. One of the players played with the Mets for a bit. He says, I'm getting really tired of Sam from the sales department telling me how to play baseball.
Yes. Right. Now, I have to ask. So what was the one thing I was surprised about, and I think he was out, but that play at the plate where it
I didn't think he was out. I thought he was safe. I thought his foot was off the bag. I don't think he got back in time.
But they didn't. Why wasn't even at least challenged? Couldn't have been.
It was challenged.
I didn't see it on my screen challenge. I don't know if
I thought I heard the umpire say, play was approved or whatever the word is. I think whatever was called on the field, they were going to stay with because it was that close. But I thought his hand. I thought he got in. I thought he was off the base. I thought Mr. Smith was off the base. And then, yep. And by the way, that is a weird fact, isn't it? 5 World Series in a row. Somebody named Will Smith has won a World Series.
I think is it 5 or 6 or either, whatever it is. It is.
And then you also can include Slap the Comedian.
Yeah. Yep.
Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. So let's expand it.
Let's expand. I mean, yeah, you're right. Did you happen to see the candid photo with Will Smith that because of course they had all the stars and stuff like that, but because that was I think it was his third, if I'm not mistaken, that was Dodgers Will Smith's third World Series, I want to say, win. I think that's correct.
I think that's correct too.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you saw the Will Smith photo. It was pretty cool. A cool moment because because what was it? I think 2020 was his first one, and then 2024, and then 2025. I think it was something like that. Yeah.
There he is. This is my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Hey,
Will Smith getting
Pennington, do me a favor, buddy. Don't talk about his wife.
Right. If I never remove this and people jump on and we just pretend that the photo's not in between us, that would be
yes.
But yeah. But so yeah. I do. Do you remember the play? I have to share this. I'm gonna play this video in just a second. Did you remember the play from Game 6 with the ball on the wall that was creviced in? It was the right call, but some people thought it wasn't. but it was. It just, But did you see some like online hate or upset like people thinking that it should have been still in play?
Yeah, conspiracies and they want the Dodgers to win. No.
Yeah,
it was a ticky tack, yes, but it was the right call. It was the right call.
Right, but we actually, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to go ahead and show you the clip because it did happen. So just give me 1 second here. Please be patient. And here is the actual real life clip of what happened, the play that we're referring to. See, I think.
Yes, right. But see that right there. Look, he's just trying. He didn't hear the whistle. He didn't hear the out call. He didn't hear. I don't blame him. And you know what? There it is. He's tried. He tried. He tried to do the Lenny Randall. Oh, that too. Yeah. Now. There it is. There you go.
Okay. Well, so, I mean, sometimes they don't show it from all managed.
Well, that's so bad. Yeah.
But yep. So
but look, he tried his best. But now, did you see there was a video of, and I kind of remember this. I believe I remember this with Cespedes when he was with the Mets in the playoffs. It was a very similar play, and they said nope, not allowed to do it. Keep going. But the point is, it was called a large ball, and that's it. You got to move on.
Yeah.
Much like you talked, like when we did the 10 worst, whatever weird rules with an umpire, with the, very similar. It was the right call. It was the right call.
Right call. I think that's just fandom, wanting to find something. It's going to be very interesting next year with the when they, the balls and strikes and stuff like that, because so many games this year, so many, missed calls and things like that at the plate that will finally be,
I thought the umpire did a good job last night at home plate.
Yeah, I think
they
so.
They looked close. Yeah. He got most of them right.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think it's probably a really high 99%, point something percent ratio, I would imagine. There. So, but yeah. So, I mean, it's incredible to see Yamamoto pitch. Get 3 wins. That's only happened twice ever before, where you get 3 wins in a World Series. That's crazy. Great to see both Glasnow and Snell get a ring with the Dodgers. That was really cool. Enjoyed seeing that. Definitely looked like Blake Snell needs some sleep, though. I don't know if you caught that. He looks very
tired. He looks a little tired.
Yeah, just a little tired. Yep. But so World Series was great as a Mets fan, of course. Not even making the playoffs, didn't have a horse in the race or a duck in the pond or whatever, but really, really enjoyed it. And then the reality sunk in after that last out that there's no baseball till March.
I know.
We're getting the World Baseball Classic, getting spring training, so all is fine. So just a couple months. It won't be so long. I mean, here we are already in November, so it'll be here before you know it. But be interesting to see, some transaction stuff. I don't foresee. Usually, much doesn't happen until after Christmas. Usually in January things start moving in terms of Pete Alonso's and big free agents and stuff like that.
When do you think that's going to end?
I think it's going to come down to the wire. Like, unfortunately, I can see this going into February, March. And that's the last thing we want. We want Alonso back, but we don't want Alonso back if he's 2 weeks late to spring training and 3 weeks behind everybody else in terms of, being ready and all that stuff. So, but
look, I agree 1,000% with Keith Hernandez. And this talk about letting, Alonso go, just this, where are you going to make up those RBIs?
Yeah. It's almost like you're trying to do a Billy Bean, what's that?
Yeah.
The movie kind of like,
Jeremy
Giambi and Scott Hatterberg
Yeah, no,
situation.
it's just stop. Again, that gets back to the whole analytic thing, and stop. Just stop.
So, but yeah, so we talked about World Series today, of course, in the NFL. A lot of great action. Wanted to highlight first the Pittsburgh Steelers and Colts game. Ended a very close game. It was mostly Pittsburgh the whole way, but Colts, with their 7-1, had a really strong finish there. Didn't quite pull it off, but huge home win for the Steelers. I'm not sure if you saw any of that game, but two friends of the show, Emilyn Bonilla, we've had on, Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and Edwin Bonilla, who is the Tampa Bay Bucks fan. We've had him on twice. Both got to go to the game. He actually was able to take her to her first game. And I said, hey, can you record a little video for us? And I was like, and they're like, sure. So I'm going to share that real quick. Their first ever experience at.
Check out our exclusive game day poster created by Mike Swindell.
Here we go, Steelers! Here we go!
Because he's seen that.
Have a good time.
Thank you, sir. Let's go, Steelers! Let's go.
Ah, this is sweet.
So nice.
And the Dallas Cowboys are back in it. And so you kind of build attitude.
Steelers Nation!
Are you ready?
So they had a fantastic time at the game. I'm sure the weather was beautiful in Pittsburgh, and so excited that they got that opportunity to go. They've been looking forward to it for quite some time. Perfect week too for him because the Bucks had a bye week. So, yeah.
So I just sent you a text.
Okay.
I don't know if you can load it or not. Do the second one first, us walking in, and then the second one is seeing the field. So we went to Notre Dame, Boston College.
Boston College, yeah. So
not nearly as big, but Notre Dame, come on, nice.
Now, what was your daughter's thought? Because was that her first time going to a game there, or?
Oh no. She's been to many Fresno State games. She's been to, and it's so interesting because the old Fresno State coach is now the head coach of Alabama. She's a really big college football fan, and Alabama's her team. And she knows that her dad is a big Notre Dame fan. So for my birthday, she got us tickets there. We just had a great time. And she's been to Boston College before. She's seen West Virginia versus Boston College. So here's a funny thing, and it's not sexism. It's nothing like that. How would you like this? We meet a guy on the train going back to where our car is parked. And by the way, it was lovely. The green line, it was great. So we're talking to him, and the gentleman's about my age, and he's talking to Lauren. And of course, she sounds knowledgeable about college football. And he goes, I got one for you. Now, none of his kids play sports, but he goes, I have one child who goes to Notre Dame, and that's where they're from, Notre Dame. My other child goes to Boston College.
Okay.
My other child goes to Ohio State.
I feel bad if there's a fourth child because they probably
there is. Guess where the fourth child goes?
Didn't quite make it. How about that?
Michigan.
Michigan. Okay.
And then Lauren is like, what? And then I'm thinking to myself, I hope they have scholarships because that's got to be a big check.
Like I can see it now. Like, oh, look, Dad, I got accepted to Nebraska A&M. No, son, you're not going there. You got to pick a bigger school.
Yeah, we just want to spend more money.
Wow!
Could you imagine?
Oh my goodness! I hope they got full scholarship.
That's what I'm hoping. But it was great because she's like, this quarterback, this. But it's amazing in pro football, college football, how people will travel. They live in South Bend, but they just wanted to watch the game, and like they're flying back the next day. So it was good. And then
That's cool.
it's nice. Listen, I gotta get to that stadium. Heinz Field is beautiful.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Of course, Pittsburgh for the Pirates, of course, is like super high on the list as well. So
that's supposedly the most prettiest stadium out there.
Yeah, for sure. But kind of breaking down some of the NFL action from today. Of course, there were some bye weeks here and there, but I have to start with my Carolina Panthers with the upset.
Well, you got me rooting for them. You got me seriously. You have me rooting for them. I root for them every week
because I remember week 1 and it was like, oof, this is okay. All the work last season down the toilet, and I think week 2 as well. But man, they've turned it around. And last week they got thumped by a really good New England team. They got kicked in the mouth a little bit, and while they didn't put up great offensive numbers today, their defense showed up in Lambeau Field nonetheless. And of course and I saw that they were up 13-6 with less than 2 minutes to go in the game. So that 16-13 final doesn't do it justice on what it was. It almost was a dominating performance. Wound up the field goal, 49-yard field goal for the win. Got to see my first Panther game today. We went for wings and some fries and stuff after church today, and so I finally got to see some of the game. It was like the Red Zone channel. They couldn't find the Panther game on the network.
The Red Zone's okay.
Yeah, I got to see something. Week 9, finally got to see some of the Panthers action. So, but they're in a good spot right now, 5-4. They're not maybe not be a playoff team just yet, but I mean,
they'll make the playoffs. They keep playing like this. They'll make the playoffs.
Yeah,
of course. I love you back. I love you quarterback.
They got New Orleans next week, and they got Atlanta again. We remember what they did the first time with Atlanta. Of course, you got a dude who's in front of you. We can't look past either of those two teams. They're 2 very winnable games. So Atlanta's played a lot better since that thumping, though. So they fell just short today. And speaking of, I saw that Hugh and Grace were watching the New England Patriot game, 24-23 with the Falcons.
Yep. So it was so interesting because we could talk about there was another 68-yard field goal today. But in the Notre Dame game yesterday, and then even today, you'll see Notre Dame 2 missed extra points by the Notre Dame kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Today's game, New England Patriot Atlanta Falcon game, came down to Atlanta ties the score with under 3 minutes to go, and they missed the extra point.
Oh man,
that's how they lost.
That was it. That now the game ended with that, or was it there a couple minutes?
Well, there was like 2 minutes and 2 seconds left.
Okay,
they weren't getting the ball back.
That's brutal. Oh man,
how do you feel if you're that kicker? That's terrible.
I know, right? Then we had like the showdown of showdowns with the Bears and the Bengals, 47-42.
Yep.
Bears get a big win in that one, and much needed win in the division that they're in. So they gained some ground there. Didn't get to see any of that game, but
that Joe Flacco throws for close to another 400 yards. The guy is in his 40s, and he's just lighting it up.
Yeah. Yep. I think he's, the Bengals are what they are, unfortunately. Now, is Burrow expected back by the end of the season, or is this a full season thing? Or
I think it's a full season. I think he's out for the year.
You do? That's unfortunate. Yeah. What do you call it?
Did you see that Bills Chief game?
Yes, the Bills and the Chiefs at halftime was very, very close, of course, and it still ended close, but 28-21. Now the Chiefs are all of a sudden they're still probably a playoff team and all that good stuff, but now they're 5-4. They're starting to come down to earth a little bit. Bills get that big win this afternoon. I think that puts them 7-2 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So yeah, big win for them. Another team that got a much needed win, the Jaguars. They started off real hot, started losing a few games. So, unfortunately, the Raiders are not much, but they held on for that overtime win, 30-29. So they did what they had to do. They gained a game on the Colts with them losing to the Steelers. Of course, the Broncos continue to play really, really well. Big win over the Texans today.
Let's stop there for a second. What do you think of the Texans? Are they where they should be? Should they be a little better? Like people are starting to talk about the Texan quarterback Stroud, that he peaked already and he's already on his way down. What's going on? Step back.
Yeah, I think this is a team that's gonna they seem to win games they shouldn't, and then they lose games.
That's exactly them. Yep.
That's them for whatever reason. In New York, Dart does very well overall. Didn't start off hot, but then finished with great stats. But again, the 10-point loss to the 49ers, and now they're sitting there at 2-7 or something like that. So
yeah, I mean, they are the most watchable losing team. When there was that Dart and Scatterboo, you're like, all right, you got some energy here. But now it's just Dart. And and do you know why I'm wearing this? My Jet jersey.
Because they can't lose today.
Correct.
Yes.
You know my humor. Exactly right. And by the way, this is the jersey they should be still wearing, but I'm okay with the new jersey. With the jersey now.
Yes, I am too. But what was? I mean, the go back to the Packers game for a minute. Like those helmets. Horrible. I thought the Steelers were bad last week with their.
What's going on? What's with these outfits? Well, I mean, it
looked like a Halloween costume. Like
it really did. It really, really did. Oh, and I have to publicly say I was wrong. I got to talk about baseball for a second. But it'll tie in with talking about uniforms. I've always been a traditionalist, that I'm learning to kind of embrace new color designs and this and that. But the Steelers and what the Green Bay did, that was pathetic and awful. It was just terrible. I was really upset about the fact that the Red Sox got those green jerseys this year. I said it live right here. I was like, what are they doing? Do you know that was the number one selling alternative jersey in baseball this year?
I believe it. I mean, of course, I'm talking from last year when I went, but I would say a good 10% of the crowd, I know it's a big statement, but 10% of the crowd was wearing the green jerseys when I went.
Yeah, they love them. They love them. And I was like, so I was telling a waitress yesterday how wrong I was. I want to say it here. They love it in Boston. They love the green jerseys.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it's like Red Sox stigma, like it's the white and the red. So it's like, how do we throw green? Like, how did green get on there? But yeah, it's not monster. Yeah, I don't hate on it compared to the others. Some of the other ones that are out there. I still really like the Tampa Bay Rays Connect jersey. Was one of my favorites for sure. Now
they were good.
Yeah,
I like them.
They were pretty good too. And the only other game I figured I would cover today, the St. Louis Rams beat up pretty badly on the Saints. I mean, pretty much everybody does these days. But Rams, in a division that's tough, they got the Seahawks and the 49ers and Cardinals are what they are. Who do you see coming out of that division? Is it the Rams? Is it the 49ers? Because the way they played great today, but they just beat up on a really bad team. So I think it's a toss-up between those two.
I would say Rams come out of that. The problem with the 49ers is I'm a fan of Brock Purdy, but he's injured a lot, and Mac Jones is their backup, and he's okay.
Right.
I just think that if the Rams at quarterback are better, especially if Purdy's not there.
And Stafford, again, we're talking about, Aaron Rodgers is doing what he's doing and Flacco is doing what he's doing. But, yeah, I mean, Matthew Stafford, what is his age? Let me look that up because,
was it 34?
He is 37.
Oh, see, yeah. You're right.
So
he's not younger. He's not young in springtime.
Yep. Nope. I guess you could say we're officially at halfway, maybe a week past halfway of the NFL season. So a lot of good football to go. Of course, the Washington Commanders are taking on the Seattle Seahawks this evening. I think it's 7-0 right now.
Yep.
Early on in that one. So,
and I feel bad for them because they had a really nice year last year. Went to the championship game, but between injuries, the Jaden Daniels is back. A lot of injuries. It's tough.
It's tough. Unfortunately, taking a bit of a step back, but it's tough.
Yep.
And
look, I'm not being a hater with the Patriot fans. I'm not being a hater with the Commander fans. Mm-hmm. When you play a schedule, so this, that NFL does a weighted schedule, right?
Yeah.
The better teams play better schedules. The weaker teams play weaker schedules. So, for example, you have a better coach now with the Patriots, and they're playing a weak schedule. So they're doing better. Last year, we got great quarterback play out of Daniels, and they were playing a weaker schedule, and they played really, really well. Now they're playing a tougher schedule. Daniels has been hurt. You're seeing Waters sink his own level. So I don't anticipate the Patriots playing nearly as good next year unless they improve their team. And, yeah, they might make the playoffs this year, but they'll go be one and done. They'll be out.
Yeah, they'll be out quick. Yep, for sure. They'll be out quick.
What's going on with the Lions?
I mean, that was surprising because, week one, I was like,
yep,
okay, that's unusual. Week two, back on track. And then they just have these awkward losses. Because the Vikings have definitely, they're not showing much this season. And today to lose like they did was just questionable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously the Lions are still in a good, still in a good place. They're still 5-3, but just was not. Was awkward. I don't know what was going on there. Because I'm looking forward. You have that Lions Packers. It's always good when you get when the Lions are good, especially on holidays and Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Because it was for years. It was like, got to sit through that game. So this year we got Packers and Lions, and then we get Chiefs and Cowboys. It's still hard to have the three. Like I'm so used to the two games now that they have the third one in the evening.
Yep.
But yeah. But that division, the NFC North, you got the Packers are leading the division at 5-2, but the Vikings in last place are one game back. So still anybody's game there.
Absolutely.
Sure. And one that's interesting, the NFC South, you have Tampa Bay at 6-2, the Panthers at 5-4. So they're technically, you could say 2 full games back, but they don't play each other until week 15. So all the Panthers got to do is stay around, stay close, and then anything
just
can
hang
happen.
out.
Yep.
And listen, if you think about it, you got the Eagles in the NFC East, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other teams, they're not very good. They're just not, right? I mean, the Giants, we know what's going on there. It's Cowboys out now. I mean, Dallas is an enigma. What do you think's going on with them?
Oof. Yeah.
My official comment is oof.
I mean, they're somehow still in second place at 3-4-1, but I don't see. They're not playing well on the road. They're 1-4 on the road. That's their Achilles heel. So in a pretty heavy NFC, I'm not expecting the Cowboys to do much. I think we're. I feel like the Commanders could turn the ship around a little bit. So I'm still saying Eagles and Commanders come out of that division, but we might be looking at just the Eagles.
So tell me right now, I'm going to put you on the spot. Carolina make the playoffs?
So I hate to say this, and I hate to do that, but you kind of have to look at their schedule because they proved today they can beat a good team. So let's
on the road, a good team, and we're on the road.
So let's do some quick research. So right now they're 5-4. I think they can beat the Saints, and I think they will beat the Falcons, even though it's on the road. So that could potentially put them at 7-4, believe it or not, in 2 weeks from now. Then they got the 49ers, the Rams right after that. So let's say they lose. Let's just say worst case they lose both. They're 7-6. Mm-hmm. Then they got the Saints again, 8-6. Bucks. Let's say they lose that one, 8-7. They got the Seahawks and the Bucks again. So my eyes are telling me no, they're not going to make the playoffs. But that is assuming they're going to lose all the games that they're supposed to lose, and they've proven they've had a few big wins this season already, beating. We said about the Cowboys, but they did beat the Cowboys this year. They did shut out the Falcons 30-0. but a lot of their wins they came against the Jets, the Dolphins, and so I'm gonna take my fan hat off and say they're gonna be so close, like they're gonna be that 8th team, and I hope I am wrong. I feel like they're just on the outside, but
so you're comfortable saying that they will be in the mix
yeah,
in the last few weeks of the season. I agree with that.
yeah,
They'll be in the
and I
mix.
won't be surprised if they get in. The AFC it seems like the NFC is a little bit stronger than the AFC, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. There's a lot of good teams there, so someone would have to drop out. But yeah, you have upsets like today. Anything could happen to hold an offensive team like the Packers to 13. It's pretty
So,
awesome.
How is the Miami head coach still a coach? How's he not been fired already?
I mean, I guess some places just wait till the end of the season, but
Maybe.
I mean, when you know, right? Like we know it's not working. And unfortunately, like Miami is becoming not a laughing stock, but they're becoming like, okay, that's a win, and to see where they
like playing the
started out
Jets.
3-0, before Tua had the concussions, they were 3-0 a couple seasons ago. Started out, looked great. I think they started 5-1 actually, something like that. They got destroyed on Thursday Night Football. I think the Ravens will start winning some games now that they got their all their pieces back together. Because I was shocked to see them sitting at the record they were sitting at. But
yeah, but their team is Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Yeah. That's where it starts.
Yes. So when he's out, they're not nearly as good. It just is.
Yeah.
So I got a weird question for you. Any other NFL question before we move on to something else?
Nope. I think we covered what I wanted to.
No, I got a serious question because I know you know this world. What's new in the WWE?
So a lot of stuff. They just had their big show, Saturday night's main event on Saturday, and some big matches and stuff like that. 4 title matches on the show. CM Punk wins the title finally after all these years. He did win it a month ago for like 2 seconds and lost it, and there's a whole story there. But so he's back on top on the company, and then you got Cody Rhodes. But what's interesting is that CM Punk is your WWE champion. Cody Rhodes is your heavyweight champion. Jade Cargill is your women's champion, and Ricky Starks is the NXT champion. All 4 of these guys were the main 4 to 5 guys on AEW. All of them got let go one at a time, or they didn't renew the contract, or they wanted out. And now you see this photo of the 4 of them posing with 4 of the highest championship belts, and it's like, how did they let all these people go? AEW it's got a good in-ring product, but they're not good at telling stories. They just, this guy versus that guy and hope that's it. That's all they do. WWE, they tell really good stories. They may take a long time to get there sometimes. Sometimes a little predictable, but they tell stories. There's a reason why A is facing B, C is facing D, all that good stuff. So it's pretty exciting right now. It's not the high that it was in 2024. It's kind of been like a little bit of a roller coaster, but I see some big things on the horizon. The new big thing is John Cena's last match next month in Washington, D.C. They just announced which I think is really cool because he only got 3 appearances left, so they can't get all his dream opponents in at once. So they're actually doing a 16-person tournament where the winner gets to face John Cena in his final match. So I thought that was really cool. So he'll get to face some of his rivals or some people he's never got to face yet. And they're saying that it won't just be people from the same company. It could be people from outside the company. So that's pretty cool. So excited to see the brackets for that and how that shapes up. And I think I have an idea of who's going to face him at the end. I just hope it's not too predictable when we get there. So
I have an AEW question for you. So where could somebody find that right now and watch that? And does the WWE even look at that and say,
so they will say straight up that they don't see them as competition, and they don't because right now the arenas are not full. They're going smaller and smaller venues. They're selling less and less seats, and it seems like they're just happy with they call them the sickos. Their audience, their target audience,
Right.
who likes violence, they like gore, they don't care about stories, they just want to see a good match. So they're not trying to expand their product. So they're on HBO Max, or you can watch them on TBS every Wednesday night. Dynamite 8:00, Collision Saturday night. Saturday night's just not a good night for professional wrestling unless it's a pay-per-view. Because of the pay-per-view, people will make it a point to stay home and have people over and all that kind of stuff. But if it's just a regular TV show, people are going to go out and do other things. So they don't even really try to put on a good product on Saturday. But yes, you can watch it on HBO Max if you don't have cable, but you do subscribe to HBO Max. You can check out AEW on there. But unlike a Netflix with WWE, where you just hit the Netflix button and it shows up every time, you have to go to the search bar and type in All Elite Wrestling and then scroll a couple bit down the page to find the live episode. Like, that shouldn't be like that.
No,
Like,
you got it.
older events show up before the live episode that's currently on, so it should not be that way. But
And you taught me, informed me when we were talking about wrestling about 6-7 months ago that they're more into like the brutal, barbed wire, blood or whatever, right? They're looking for more of the blood and gore kind, maybe the over the top kind of nonsense.
yeah, yep. And that's exactly. It's funny you say that, because that's exactly what the event is called. Is AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts is the name of the show.
There you go.
And that's going to be on Wednesday, November the 12th, 5-on-5. And you think you're watching, like, remember that movie with Carrie, like Red, the horror flick with Carrie, like that's what it feels like you're watching.
Yeah.
Everywhere
Carrie.
on TV, and it's like.
So I get it, because of what we do for a living here. We like to find out how the sausage is made, kind of thing, and I find it interesting. I thought of us. I thought of you. I thought of our podcast and live show when I saw a advertisement for Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. Now it says Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, and embedded is the word circus, but it's not prominent anymore. So obviously they rebranded themselves and going after different things, probably without animals, for all the reasons that we know, ethical treatment and such. How do you think that's going to do?
I mean, it might do okay for the start, and then like it'll wear off a little bit.
I agree.
The intrigue, and then I think back to the last time I ever went was here in Florida, and I was having a nice little time. I was young. I think I had just moved to Florida. And
I remember this.
I'm sitting on the top of the bleachers. I think it was row. Every time I tell the story, I'm jumping off of a higher bleacher row. But
I was on the Chrysler Building.
Yes. So I'm sitting there, and whoever I was with went to get a beverage, and the elephant starts going crazy, and they're like, everyone remain calm. We've got the elephant under control. So we think that they have the elephant under control. And I even saw when they showed the picture of the elephant on the big screen, I noticed the lady that was on the elephant was my math tutor.
No.
Yeah. Her name was Bridget. She was my math tutor. So that was interesting. So then anyway, so about 6 minutes pass, we're just kind of like, okay, I'm glad they got this under control. All of a sudden it starts barreling back through the curtain. Everybody out. And so I realized that whoever I was with at the time was not going to make it back before, so I had to get out of there. Mm-hmm. And so I did a backflip 360 from the 71st row of the bleachers, landed perfectly fine, 9.8 landing. And so as I'm going to the right, the elephant's going to the left. I missed them by maybe a half a foot as far as just smacking into the butt of the elephant. Like, that's how close it was. So I get out and panicking, of course, and find everyone I'm with. Turns out I think that Aileen actually was there. We didn't even really know each other much at the time, but she went with her family and stuff. Just didn't, and so that all happened, and it was like pandemonium and stuff. And then they had to put the elephant down I remember that. And a lot of people were upset, but it was like, well, I mean, trampling over hundreds of people, or so crazy. So I think I just saw ads where they're bringing it back for the first time since the tragedy, or the incident. So nobody got killed or anything like that. But
Was that a Ringling Brothers event?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
But I want to say it was like 92, 90.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple
something
things. First of all, how's your tutor? She got off in time. What happened?
She's not as good with her math as she used to be. She's she's interlocking letters and numbers and symbols in there, and so she's struggling with her. She's yes, mom remembers that. Yeah. No, I heard she was doing fine. She, if I remember correctly, obviously, like she had to speak to someone about it and stuff. It was a little terrifying.
Of
stuff, but
course.
she still was able to finish school and all that kind of stuff. But I just remember her having to speak to somebody. So that was crazy. And
see, I never knew. Seriously, now I never knew that was a Ringling Brothers show. I thought it was like one of those lower tiered circuses. Wow.
Yeah. It says if you Google it, it says in February of '92. The elephant named Janet went on a rampage in Palm Bay, Florida, causing injuries and destruction. And they had to shot and kill the elephant. Elephant's trainer was later acquitted of the charges related to the incident. So apparently that same elephant had a situation, I think it was in Miami, and should have never been allowed to continue to perform. But it did. And so, but it says here too, it was an 8,000-pound elephant. So if the option was not to shoot the elephant and to sedate the elephant, I don't know what option B would have been, because an 8,000-pound elephant going crazy.
Could you imagine the carnage and death? We've seen those, unfortunately, those videos. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So did you know that Ringling Brothers, like I did a deep dive because I love the whole genre of this circus and all of we talked about the sideshow stuff, just from like people who choose to do that. Like, I love to unpack that, right? Like, what's that about? But anyway, did you know Ringling Brothers, there's 2 or 3 different circuses going on at one time?
No, I didn't know that.
No, not the three ring. There is a main circus and the 2 smaller ones, and they travel independently throughout the country. I
didn't know that. I thought it was one big shindig.
So did I, yeah. But it's kind of weird. Anyway, I don't know why I got on that, but when I saw Ringling Brothers, I thought of you. I knew what happened with the circus, but thank you for sharing that story. Boy, that's scary. You must have been traumatized. I'm being very serious.
Yeah, no, it really was. I mean, in all reality, it was at least 7 rows high from the floor, so it wasn't like an easy jump. Like, it was. I remember my ankle. Like, I don't know how I didn't hurt myself, but thankfully I did. Like, I wasn't hurt at all. It was just.
So you went out the back. You jumped right out the back.
So I jumped. I went to the edge of the row, jumped off the side of the bleachers, and then as I got my footing and started running to the right, that's when the elephant was coming around and just barely missed each other. So
could you imagine people holding children? And that would be awful.
Oof, just awful. And then they see the elephant getting shot at, and so they hear they hear gunshots going off. It was just an awkward. And I think we went to Bridget and Frank's like that night, if I can remember. So it was funny. We were talking wrestling. I used to go to Bridget and Frank's for all the pay-per-views because they would actually order them. They were big wrestling people.
Right.
And one day I went to the kitchen to get popcorn, and I think I remember Frank coming out, or it might have been Bridget, turn that off. Like, they just stopped like wrestling and didn't order them anymore, and I had to start ordering them myself. But I used to go over there a lot to watch, or at least a year or two, to see a lot of their shit. And they didn't have as many as they do now. It wasn't like every 4 months. Like, it was back then. It was every 4 months. Now it's once a month, sometimes twice a month. They have pay-per-views or premium live events, as they call them.
No, that's great.
Yeah. So, but this daylight savings time, man, it's getting me. It was 6:15, and I was like getting tired. It's, gonna be doing a podcast soon, and I was like, wait, it's 6:15. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
This morning I was wide awake at like 5:30, like ready to go. Like, yeah.
But look what both of us are right now. We're in both of our homes. You're in the middle of the city. I'm at our suburban place, and look, the sun is shining.
Yeah. Well, it's I mean, only, from this perspective, the sun is shining, but
Right.
in reality, it's pretty dark out there.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for the books that I have. I'm going to go ahead and read some of those books on the bookshelf behind me.
Excellent.
The author, we should have the author on for one of these books, but no, but it's gonna be a good week. Looking forward to.
Oh, just let me know. But I know you're going to start reading that book. But I never finished it. Let me know if Curious George actually did swallow the puzzle piece.
I promise to let you know if that happens. I'm intrigued. I can't wait to find this out. But yeah, so it's gonna be a great week, guys. Thank you so much for making us a part of your week. Big things coming, of course. The parade is coming next month, so look us for that. I was actually creating the flyers this evening for the parade. We're gonna have 5,000 flyers printed out and ordered and all that good stuff. So can't wait for that. But again, what's coming up next is this Thursday. Should be Locked On Pirates. If anything changes, we'll still be live anyway. But that's the plan as of now. And then all you Friends fans, make sure that you make us part of your night. Next Sunday, we're going to cover every single relationship that Phoebe ever had on the show. It's probably a good 50 men. Probably it felt like she just went through each one of them. But we're going to go over all that good stuff. So make sure you're here. We'll have our friends Hooked on Friends on with us next Sunday. But Darren, until next time, have a great rest of your night. Everyone watching along, thanks for being here, and we will see you around the ballpark. Good night, guys.